And we're back. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show.
Good morning,
I'm
all.
your host, BKP. Good
And
morning,
I'm George McClellan. Good morning, sir.
How are you doing, George?
Very, very good. Better than your little dog.
Well, he just took a fit yesterday afternoon. He just decided today they needed. Pup doesn't know what she's barking at sometimes and just goes to taking a barking fit and doesn't know what she can see outside. Go outside, look, can't figure it out, but she's going to attack whatever's outside and just every once in a while.
Drives everybody crazy, right?
Yes. Anyhow, folks, a couple programming notes.
Compliment your daily secretarial splendor, your Sunday go to funeral coat, and a bright red shirt.
You like that?
Nobody's going to miss you in a snowstorm, are they?
No.
And this is June, and it's going to be 90 degrees today.
No, not going to miss me in a snowstorm. Let me get to what I have so we can get into some important things of keeping two eyes on the Fed. A couple programming notes, folks. We are doing the show all summer long at the shops at Sycamore Crossing right in downtown Blue Ridge. One of my guests this week will be, don't forget there's an election, so runoff, candidate for runoff is the current incumbent for magistrate judge of Fannin County. Sherry Walker will be with me. Brian Jones was with me last week. If you'd like to be a guest on that show on Friday mornings in downtown Blue Ridge, maybe you play music or you have something you want to talk about, get in touch with me, chief at fetchernews.com. We're down there every Friday morning. This Thursday, follow us on Facebook, I will be having a gentleman on the show. His name is Scott Farrell. Scott is, now pay attention to this, Lonnie, because I'm actually bringing him in just for you. This guest is in for you, okay? Now, here's the thing, okay?
Really, just for me? Which comic
Just for
did
you,
he write?
just for you.
Which comic did he write?
No, he didn't write a comic, okay? Scott is known, okay, let's see. Scott has a new book coming out on business behavior called It's Not Them, It's You. So we're going to be talking about Scott's book, but he is, now listen, Scott Farrell is America's behavior expert, okay?
Never heard of it.
Well, we're bringing him in because we have behavioral issues with Lonnie. So he's America's behavioral expert, so he'll be here
to the
Thursday.
top of the heap to bring
Yes,
somebody down to the bottom of the
Lonnie's
heap,
coming
right?
in. He's coming in. No, but anyhow, his name's Scott Farrell. Follow us on Facebook. I will be putting his bio up. A lot of information about him. He'll be here Friday, so you can look up Scott Farrell. He'll be here. Thursday. He'll be here Thursday. And next week, George, this lady here, I'm working on next week, bringing this young lady in. Moorman, is that her name? M-O-O-R-M-A-N, Moorman? Would you say it like that?
Yes, sounds good.
Okay. Rhonda M. Moorman, she's a doctor. Dr. Moorman went to school with President Obama, was a classmate
Oh, she actually mentioned
at Harvard.
They found somebody who went there?
Yes.
Because no one else knows.
It's called, she has a book called Mr. Obama and Me. And she says, my classmate, our president, and the fight for your health. So she's going to either be in studio or call in, and we're also going to look at bringing her up here to talk about her book, Mr. Obama and Me.
Does she live in the area?
No, she lives in Douglasville. So, but
Really?
yes. So,
Somebody went to Harvard, lives in Douglasville?
yes.
They've upped their status a bit, haven't they?
Well, that's not fair to Douglasville, George. That's not
Well,
really.
lovely place. My
That's-
wife was over there
that's not
yesterday
fair to
judging
Douglasville.
the flower show.
I mean, I don't know about around here, but
Wonderful place.
there's a young lady that graduated up here in Union County that's going to Harvard.
She moved to Douglasville too?
No. Lonnie, folks, this week, the Federal Reserve Chair, Yellen, made some comments. Now, this is about a 2-minute video, so stay with me. Pay attention to this. I want to talk about it in just a minute. But I think it's important. I think it's something you need to keep your eye on with the Federal Reserve, with inflation. I'm not trying to bore you because I know it's all the great things going on, history in the making with Hillary Clinton, and this is going to bore you. But stay with me. This is an important video. Turn it up where I can hear it, Lonnie.
message will be largely favorable, although recent developments have been mixed. Most importantly, the economy has registered considerable progress over the past several years toward the Federal Reserve's goals of maximum employment and price stability. And as I will explain, there are good reasons to expect that we will advance further toward those goals. The news from the labor market over the past year has been generally good, with significant job gains, the unemployment rate declining below 5%, rising household incomes, and tentative signs of faster wage growth. At the same time, recent signs of a slowdown in job creation bear close watching. Inflation has been lower than our objective of 2%, but I expect it to move up over time for reasons I will describe. If incoming data are consistent with labor market conditions strengthening and inflation making progress toward our 2% objective, as I expect, further gradual increases in the federal funds rate are likely to be appropriate and most conducive to meeting and maintaining those objectives. The recovery has not always been smooth, but overall the gains have been impressive. In particular, the job market has strengthened substantially, and I believe we're now close to eliminating the slack that's weighed on the labor market since the recession. While the economy has made great strides toward the FOMC's objective of maximum employment, somewhat less progress is made toward our inflation objective. Inflation has run persistently below the Fed's goal of 2% over the past several years, even as the labor market strengthened significantly.
George, she didn't mention 94 million Americans that have stopped looking for jobs.
Yes,
She discussed maximum as we move to maximum employment.
38,000? That's good.
Then
Yeah.
she said the objective of 2% growth. I didn't know.
It was 4.5 under Ronald Reagan.
And we're working on a faster wage growth. They're noticing faster wage growth.
That's raising the minimum wage.
Labor market is good. Considerable progress. I don't want to belabor that.
How about a snow job?
I want to hold on to that, but the interest rate is going to go up. Do you think? I'm not for sure, but I think they're setting you up for an interest rate increase, and the federal fund rate. Pay attention to federal fund rate. So I don't want to bore you for the next hour talking about the Federal Reserve, but Yellen's comments. Janet Yellen's speech indicates Fed will rethink interest rate plans. Okay, this is from the New York Times. Okay, mindful of unexpected weak job growth last week, the abandoned hope of raising interest rates is its next meeting in June. So we need to pay attention to the Federal Reserve and what they're doing and how they're discussing inflation and interest rates.
The market is volatile. For that woman to sit there, head of a private bank, and snow us. She's talking to other bankers anyway. How many people out here watching this show actually know what we're talking about? Or listen to what Janet Elson possibly said.
I understand.
She's talking raising interest rates. You know, that means if I have a CD, I like it. Maybe I'll make some money. If I got to borrow money, I don't like it. But my situation is neutral. I don't need to borrow money, and everything I got's paid for. So whatever she does can't hardly adversely affect me, except to make what little dollars I have in my pocket go away, increase the cost of cigars and whiskey, I guess.
We have to pay, as boring as it sounds, we have to pay attention to what she's saying.
We do.
We have to pay
But
attention. It might sound
98%
boring.
of the people out here don't. They don't understand.
They don't understand until there's, They don't understand today. We have to pay attention to it, and I'm going to continue to pay attention to what she's doing and what the Fed's doing, because there has to come a time that the bills get paid. Has to come a time. And the Federal Reserve, I mean, we go back to $800 billion, and we have not cracked 2.5% growth rate in 10 years. Almost, I mean,
Yeah,
in
10 years.
yeah,
you're
and
absolutely- and that includes the last 2 years of George W. Bush's administration, when the Congress was totally Democrat.
exactly.
Totally Democrat. And that's where it started. Dodd-Frank is a good rule that they could eliminate, I think.
Well,
That started then.
huh? What do you have on your list, George?
Well,
I've had an extensive list this morning, so I'll defer to what do you have out there. You know, it's a historic day. Hillary's the nominee. You see what happened last time we made history?
oh yeah, she won.
Last time we made history, Mr. Obama became President Obama, and we made history.
Well, it's not snowing. I guess it's okay. You know, this is a show. This whole dang thing is a show. You know, this business about Trump. Interesting. My wife just sent me this, and I have to share it with you, because it tells us exactly why people are anti-government. The list, she calls it the list. Which do you not like? I just received one, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I like the way this is phrased, because it recognizes that the political class is bought and paid for. I believe that the basic premise is correct. If you listen to Trump, he is hitting many of the hot buttons of the electorate. But you have to listen to him and not be distracted by his showmanship, which is designed to give him free publicity, since he's paying for his own campaign. Trump is at least talking about issues that most Americans are concerned about. We are usually in agreement with most of what he says, but wish someone else was saying it.
Right.
We are getting older, and our tickers aren't what they used to be. So here's our bucket list for 2016. What the people out here want, at least people my age, I guess, we want Hillary held accountable for her previous criminal actions. We'd like to have God put back in America. We want the borders closed or tightly guarded. On Congress, we'd be happy if they had the same retirement health care plan as everybody else. We think Congress should obey its own laws now. We want American to speak English only. We want the culture of America to be surrounded by the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, not have some creepy Middle Eastern doctrines squeezed in there to claim equal status. We want a drug-free, mandatory screening for welfare recipients before and after they start receiving their little credit card. Freebies? How about none to non-citizens? Budget. Balance the damn thing. Illinois is a good example of what's happened when you don't, and so is Puerto Rico. And Venezuela for that. Foreign countries, stop giving them our money. Charge them for our help. We need that money here. And if we need to go in there in the system, then we should tax them to help defray the cost of their liberation. And we need to fix the tax code or eliminate it. And most of all, we want people to respect our military and our flag. And that's what's happening right now. That's why Trump is hitting all these notes. And he's inartful when he does it, but that's it.
The comments he made, bringing that up, the comments he made about the Mexican judge, Curiel, or what's his name?
Mexican judge.
Do you think those hurt him, Judge Curiel?
No, of course not at all. And what they talk about the fact that he's a Mexican judge. Okay, He's a judge of Mexican extraction. He was born legally in America. What, Illinois, did you say? That's not
No, Indiana.
Indiana. Well, that's next door. So anyway, he's an American of Mexican extraction. I've got no problem with that. Problem I have, and they are not talking about, is the fact that he was a member of La Raza and the La Raza legal group, and which absolutely makes his objectives, his political objectives, to the left of the American Constitution. And if they would focus on that, if Trump could focus on that, then he might have a agreement. But more significantly, all of the talking heads on the Republican side are ganging up against him for being politically incorrect for a Mexican judge. We don't care. Out here, we don't care. Trump is the only guy who has stood up and challenged political correctness.
Well, I'll say this. Okay, now I'm trying to research this, and I try to take the time to look at everything before I go too far into it. I've tried to look at La Raza. I've read several articles. I've got about 6 articles on La Raza here that I've been reading, from The Hill to Reuters, several there, Breitbart on La Raza. But the one thing I will say, and this is what was said the other day, I'm cautious with saying I'm okay that he came out and said something about the judge being Mexican. But that being said, George, we have to quit saying lip service by saying we're tired of activist judges. We're tired of liberal activist judges that feel that the Constitution is this breathing, living document to be changed and amended at will, and we're tired of judges writing law from the bench. Okay?
It's a good argument for Trump to make.
Then when Trump says something like this, we all get up in arms about it.
No, we don't all. Only the talking heads are up in arms about it. They're the only ones creating a news, and all the news media thinks it's a way to attack Trump. I don't care. People I know in this, we don't care. We probably think he's touched on something that is true. If that's an activist judge, so be it.
Well, maybe he is an activist judge. I'm not for sure.
I'm not either, and I make no claim that he is. But he was a member of La Raza.
Do you think the media is trying to promote a third? In the past, there's not always, but there's been the Libertarian candidate, the Green Party candidate. Do you think the media is, especially this election cycle, promoting or discussing the Libertarian candidate more to try to bring division
to undermine Trump is what they're trying to do. But you said something just in it. You said the Libertarian candidate, the Libertarian Party and the Green Party, are they not? Are you saying they're one and the same?
No.
So that means there's 4 parties out there.
Right.
Okay.
But the Libertarian Party, Gary Johnson is getting airtime. He's getting airtime.
He was on Fox News last
Right.
night. Yeah.
And he's
a great speaker. And some
I've
of the
seen
things he said made sense. But as soon as he goes to dope smoking and a few of those other weird
Well, I
ideas,
don't trust nothing about him, and I know
Yeah.
what I'm getting out. I know what I can feel across there out of that camera and whatever. Oh, you like Trump, but here's a guy you can't trust nothing about. No, you know what? Let me tell you something. Trump wasn't a 2-time governor, so he has not been in political office. This guy's been in political office.
New Mexico in it.
Right. 2 questions about marriage. One, he deferred to the states. The other one, he deferred to the federal government.
Yeah.
But he's the Libertarian candidate.
But he never deferred to the Bible and Christian standards, did he?
No, not once.
Not Judeo-Christian standards.
Not once.
Not culture of over 2,000 years. It should be a state or a government that does it, whether state or federal. That's what he's deferring to. What an idiot. How can he be a libertarian and then defer anything to the federal government?
Well, any reasonable person, because that's the word Hillary will use in the next 4 months, like it's going outside reasonable. Any reasonable person, right,
Well,
Lonnie?
any reasonable person wouldn't be involved with protecting a philandering husband and staying with him. That's a good argument.
That wasn't nice, George.
It's, hey, I didn't make
I
up
mean,
the
that-
news.
that's-
I didn't
that
make up
wasn't-
the news, Jesus.
I mean, that wasn't nice. You're
Yes,
talking.
it
You're talking about a woman that made history. How can you? That's not nice. She made history last night.
Oh,
The
she did.
AP.
She
The
destroyed Libya.
AP dragged her over the line just in time to tell people Bernie was no longer in the. I mean, if you've ever wondered if the
believe
AP
that?
is in the tank,
Do you believe that?
Huh?
Bernie's not quitting. He's going to keep rallying and make her look bad.
Obama
And
has
today,
called.
Today, I tell you what, at the end of the day, Bernie, if he doesn't win California, he'll be so close that she'll feel a breeze up her dress, I'll guarantee you.
She wears pantsuits. She doesn't wear a dress. I mean,
Breeze will still be
George, this stuff of political incorrectness of talking about women like that has to stop, George.
I don't have it.
There's no breeze.
I'm
There's
sorry.
no breeze. She wears a pantsuit. In fact, her jacket. She gave a speech about the poor or something, and she was wearing a $14,000 jacket while she was giving it. Inequality.
$14,000 jacket.
Yeah, she was wearing a $14,000 jacket as she was giving a financial inequality or whatever. I'm your host, BKP. I'm a little sidetracked here. Good morning from the office.
I missed that one.
I can show it to you.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
yeah.
I just missed it.
Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. I'm your host, Lonnie. Take us to break. We'll be back right after this for our last 30 minutes to wrap up.
Better days ahead. Truck Month is back at your new Days Chevrolet in Jasper with savings up to $8,000 off MSRP. Right now, get a roomy new Chevy Equinox for just $23,200, or get Days max discount on a new Silverado Crew Cab, just $31,900, plus instant easy credit with Days Fast Track Credit Center. But these Truck Month savings won't last long. Get to Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where Chevy cars and trucks cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Announcing Pizza Hut's new Applewood smoked bacon and melty cheese. Stuffed in the crust. Pizza Hut's bacon stuffed crust pizza is here, now with Applewood smoked bacon. And loaded with cheese in one irresistible crust. Just $12.99, only at Pizza Hut.
You're making me crazy.
El Rey and Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine.
El Rey.
El Rey and Ellijay.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked and Ella next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked and Ella next to Walmart.
Only Pizza Hut delivers 2 medium pizzas any way you want for just $6.99 each. Get any 2 freshly made pizzas with high quality, fresh ingredients and sauce made with California vine ripened tomatoes. Now get your favorite specialty recipes like meat lovers, backyard barbecue chicken, or 5-pepper pepperoni. So you never have to compromise with any quality toppings, any crust, any specialty. Anything you want on any 2 medium pizzas, just $6.99 each. Only at Pizza Hut.
Switch and save at Schottenkirk Ford. Find quality pre-owned trucks under $20,000 and not just Fords. We have all the best makes and models. Shop the best selection of certified pre-owned Fords in the area. Switch today and shop our network of over 500 pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. We'll even deliver it to you. Plus, every vehicle sold comes with Schottenkirk Customer Care, which offers you extra protection for no extra charge. Make the switch to Schottenkirk Ford in Jasper. Online at SchottenkirkFordJasper.com.
George, as we wrap up, I was telling you before we went to break, Hillary Clinton wore a $12,495 Armani jacket during a speech about inequality. The people and the AP, folks, if you haven't heard this yet, the AP, just in time for California and New Jersey voters to go to the poll, announced last night officially Hillary had the delegates and was the nominee and made history. So they wanted the front page, as many of the front page papers this morning, to say she made history last night and take a shot at Bernie, like there's no use to go vote, it's done, it's over with, which I think is pretty dirty, and I think it's pretty dirty for the AP to do, because the super delegates do not vote, and I'm not taking up for Bernie Sanders, but they do not vote until they get to the convention.
So Bernie's going to continue proselytizing them.
I think it's over today. I think Obama called him this weekend and told him, that he had friends that, would be visiting him if he didn't get out. Obama has said they have leaked out that they're going to endorse. They're thinking it could come as early as tomorrow, after tomorrow's big night, or Thursday. I don't think they should waste it. If I'm their political consultant, I don't waste it, because they got plenty of, they can parlay everything, because tomorrow the media can talk about how great she is in her wins. Okay. My prediction, if Hillary Clinton does not do well today in California or loses, Obama will come out tomorrow and endorse her to put the rubber stamp on. No matter what you've seen yesterday, this is the candidate. But if she does well, they will use that. They will use Thursday, they will use Bill's political speech at the funeral Thursday, right? Thursday. Bill Clinton will give a very political speech Thursday at the Ali. They all will. They'll do a loving Muslim funeral. She can bounce that all the way to the weekend, and then Monday of next week, he can come out and endorse her. But Obama is ready to endorse.
Well, we knew that anyway. Do you know what the big news is that it's not being reported? If you have travel plans to go to Istanbul or Constantinople, however you change to recognize it, I think I'd reevaluate my reason to go there. There was a major bomb attack there by Islam, killing 11 and injuring 36, right in the heart of the tourist section. We don't see it on today's news. Why is that important? Because Turkey is a NATO country. And that has, we have all kinds of obligations now. But what we will hear is the war on terrorism. And I've written time and time again, terrorism is not an enemy. Terrorism is a tactic.
Well, I think you're exactly right. We should make an effort here to look underneath what the media is trying to sell us for the news and make sure we bring that out.
They're not even reporting this one.
No, they don't bring up. They basically do not bring up anything like that. At this time, we always like to save time. So also, I want to go over our guests that we're going to be coming up and some programming notes we have happening here at FetcherNews.com, FYN TV. So at this time, we'd like to give George an opportunity to share his final thoughts of the day. George, what do you have for us?
Well, back on the campaign trail, this is one called "Let the Games Begin." To hell with with the conventions. Let the games begin. Donald Trump and Hillary are already trading barbs loaded with explosive ordnance specifically designed to make the next president of the United States look like an incompetent moron. They shouldn't try so hard. It has already been done. Trump is gifted by outthinking his mouth, and Hillary is, well, she's just incompetent. Apart from the Republicans' apparent desire to blow a hole in the bottom of their boat by trying to drown Donald Trump, the progressives trying to ignore the corrosive campaign of the elderly but inexhaustible Bernie Sanders pretends to remain secure in the belief that their candidate, Hillary, will not actually be facing criminal justice. Ignore it, and it will go away. So, while ignoring the danger, the progressive candidate of choice, Hillary, in what was described as a major foreign policy speech last week, launched her own oratorical rocket attack on the Donald, rendering her opinion about Donald's inability to be president. In doing so, her 45-minute rant left us still uninformed about her own foreign policy ideas, except to help us recognize that she doesn't have one except the destruction left in the trail of failed exercises in statecraft when she was Secretary of State. Concomitantly, she indicts herself with her very words when accusing Trump by reminding us of earlier felonies she and her notoriously felonious husband committed and got away with over the last couple of decades. Hillary obviously views herself as a political leader, albeit a socialist, progressive one. It is in her nature to believe that as a progressive, she is more adept at leadership, while conservatives are best suited to be followers because she thinks conservatives are artificial in their beliefs, using faith, religion, and guns as best examples. As far as Trump is concerned, the leadership of both parties eschew his triumph because he is a rank outsider who didn't move up through the ranks, showing loyalty, commitment, and resolve to maintain the status quo. To the establishment politicians, it was Trump's job to donate money to political campaigns, not booger up the scene by running himself. Trump didn't then, and still doesn't now, recognize the professional political class as anything but failed, incompetent money grabbers, bent on keeping their political careers so they can continue to riffle or rifle around in the public coffers. I believe that Donald Trump, having excelled in the business world, and that's inarguable, realized the outcomes that consensus thinking imposed on the voters were lies. His challenges to that way of thinking against the angry screams and rendering of garments of the political consulting class have indeed been proven correct. He now stands as the GOP's candidate, whether they want him or not. I believe Trump realized that while a level of influence was needed to succeed, that influence could also be bought or stolen. Trump doesn't lie about who he is. His life is an open book. Hillary always lies. She can't help herself because it's become her nature to lie. She does it easily and gaffes off dangerous questions with her witches-like laugh and a segue to the subject of her choice. She hasn't been cornered in a debate yet. That's coming. Some people spend their entire lives looking for meaning to those lives. Hillary and Bill look forward in progressive politics, and on a personal basis, they succeeded, but they are never happy. That's something unattainable and beyond their reach. For Hillary, maybe you reach too far. George Orwell once wrote, among the thousands of things he wrote, but this was significant, quote, "Political language is designed to make lies sound truthful and murder respectable, and to give an acceptance of solidity to pure wind." End quote. There we are.
Thank you, George. I appreciate it. In 2001, Sona Sotomayor, an appeals court judge, gave a speech declaring that the ethnicity and sex of a judge may and will make a difference in our judging.
That was ethnicity. Just helping your rhetoric a little bit.
Don't highlight me trying to get those out, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Trying to make a point here. Holy
start
mackerel.
over again.
You want to try it again?
Ethnicity.
Ethnicity. In 2001, Sona, I told you earlier, I was a little cautious, and I am, all right? I want to be cautious when I'm discussing ethnicity. And I'm a little cautious on that and what Trump said. But Supreme Court Justice Sona Sotomayor in 2001, an appeals court judge, gave a speech declaring that ethnicity and sex of a judge may and will make a difference in our judging. Could make a difference. In her speech, Judge Sotomayor questioned the famous notion often invoked by Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg and her retired Supreme Court colleague Sandra Day O'Connor that a wise old man and a wise old woman would reach the same conclusion when deciding a case. I would hope that a wise Latino woman with the richness of her experiences. Remember when this lit everybody up? This lit everybody up. Now pay attention to what Trump's saying, folks. When Trump says something, you got to scratch around a little bit, but there's something there. I would hope that a wise Latino woman with the richness of her experiences would more often than not reach a better conclusion than a white male who hasn't lived that life, said Judge Sotomayor, who is now considered to be near the top of President Obama's list of potential Supreme Court nominees. This is a story from May 14th, 2009, from the New York Times. This is 2009. See, in 2009, they don't know that Donald Trump's going to have a case and it's going to be heard by a Latino, Mexican, Hispanic, whatever, all right? Judge Sotomayor says this, all right? Just saying, folks, just saying. Now, I'm not for sure, okay? But this judge and the law firm, okay, there's some articles out about La Raza, as George said, that you should go look up. Now, I don't like that he said, hey, I got a Mexican judge and I'm going to build a wall, and maybe he doesn't like that. But there may be some truth behind what Trump has said today, folks. There may be some truth on what he has said. You know what I mean, George?
Calling the judge Mexican was not racist. If he'd called him a taco bender, that would have been racist and bigoted.
But that's not right, because there's a lot of people that work over there at Taco Bell that are just good people, and
Well,
and
they're freshly made. Those are pre-made.
so
tacos.
are you saying if you fold a taco that that's
That was
wrong?
That was always a term we used. That was used when I grew up as a kid to describe the braceros and the Mexicans as taco vendors. Hey, no one was hurt by it.
That's not nice. That's not nice, George. That's
That
not
was
nice.
years ago.
Anyhow,
But Trump didn't use it, and that's the point I'm making. He called him a Mexican, so what's racist about that?
yes, but let's look at what Sotomayor said.
Well, I saw that.
You see that
And
yourself, right?
She's
She's a Supreme Court justice, right?
Yeah.
And let's listen to what she said there, and we did see that.
Yep.
So that being said, I've got one more I want to pull up. It's not loading right now. Let's see if I can get it up here before we go. I want to bring this one up because nobody likes what Trump has said. Most people are attacking Trump for what he said, and it doesn't seem to be loading.
Or how they,
Folks,
how
in
they
the
say it,
next couple months, please look underneath Rio Olympics and Zika virus, because the media will lead us to believe that the only three things that we should pay attention to are the Olympics in Rio and the Zika virus, and that will be the detractor from what's really happening in the world. We need to pay attention to that. I'm just serious, okay? That being said, pay attention to that. Look up for yourself. Okay, it's not loading for me, so I don't know why not, but look up for yourself the issues on this judge and La Raza. Did I get it? La Raza. Look that up yourself. I'll try to get it again before we close today. Now, my guest Thursday will be Scott Farrell. Scott Farrell is an America's behavior expert. He has a new book coming out that we're going to discuss. Scott has a new book coming out on business behavior called It's Not Them, It's You. I'm going to be putting this on FetcherNews.com's Facebook page. I'm going to be putting it also on Twitter, and you can find it on FetcherNews.com. We're going to put this up. He will be my guest Thursday. We are working out something now. I will have an announcement. Rhonda M. Mormon is Dr. Mormon went to school, was a classmate of President Obama. She has written a book, Mr. Obama and Me. We plan to have her on the show, and she also has done a lot of work. She's a doctor on what is going on with Obamacare and rural hospitals. So we're going to be talking to her hopefully here in the next day or two. We're going to try to get her up here. Fridays, every Friday now, we are broadcasting at the Shops of Sycamore. So if you'd like to be on the show, 706-889-9700, or send me an email, chief@fetchernews.com. Today, we have our friend Oscar Poole, Inspirational Moments by Oscar Poole, coming up right here in a minute. So stay with that. After the brief messages, we will have the Morning Report, North Georgia's only live online morning newscast. If you see news out there, 706-889-9700. You can send us a text message. You can email us at SHOW, at FetcherNews.com. If you see news out there in North Georgia anywhere, let us know. And stay tuned for North Georgia's only live online morning newscast. We've got Oscar coming up, right, Lonnie? Yeah. Have I missed anything that you're aware of? Because I know we're trying to get it to where the show starts right at 10, so we need to go now for it to be that close, right?
Yeah, pretty close.
All right. Folks, 10 a.m., North Georgia's only live online newscast. Kevin Hensley with the Morning Report. George, thanks for being here today, for your inspirational thoughts and comments and opinions and all the whole list. The whole list.
Well, we got to bring some levity to this.
This
show. I mean,
well, folks, stay tuned. 10 o'clock. I'm your host BKP. We'll be back tomorrow. Lonnie, take us out of here.